Our guest for today is Howard Ahanu Berger, who is the founder of Healing with Ahanu, a movement and a platform dedicated to real embodied healing. Through powerful ice bath experiences, energy work, and raw spiritual guidance, he's helped thousands of people to reconnect with their inner truth and resilience. He joins us today to talk about trauma and how he sees nature as a pathway to true and grounded transformation. Welcome to the Safe Place to Land. This is another episode that is made just for you. And I'm hoping that you guys enjoy the conversation today and you learn a lot. Remember to like, subscribe, and share. We have a powerful guest with me, and this is for your benefit. This is for you to find safety in this conversation and know that you are loved and know that you are capable to heal from whatever trauma that you have experienced in life. And thank you so much, Mr. Ahanu, for joining us today.
Thank you, my sister.
You are known as Healing with Ahanu.
Healing with Ahanu, yes.
And that has become your nickname.
Well, it's become a bit of a brand, to be fair. Ahanu started off as an initiated name, and then Healing with Ahanu it rolled off the tongue a little bit, and then that's how it's known on the socials. When I'm putting content out, chatting in person, people go, "Oh, you're healing with Ahanu," so it's just kind of stuck. Yeah, because people are healing with me. Yes. And themselves.
I think that's how I found you on social media. I just typed on Instagram, healing, and you popped up.
Yes. It's working. So the algorithm is in my favor.
Yeah, so let's start off the conversation. When did you realize you had the gift of healing?
If I go back in terms of looking at it from a spiritual timeline, it would have started 5, maybe 6 years ago, where we opened a wellness center in Four Ways, and I started to notice certain things that were not, let's say, visible to the naked eye, and I would have to do a double take. I saw different colors that other people didn't see, or when I looked again, it was gone, and I started to realize that there was a world, there was a realm that I could see that others could not. And I started to look into it and into what it meant. And I started having conversations with other people who were coming into our center, other healers, other shamans, people doing Reiki, people doing breathwork. And I was chatting to them, not more looking for guidance, more looking for an answer. Confusion was the order of the day in terms of what is this or what am I experiencing? And from there, it evolved. I would say evolution happened in terms of my own spiritual practices, in terms of what I was or what I thought I was or what I was becoming. So from what my original modality was crystal healing, finding the energy frequency or the energy bridges between humans and crystals and how we are all connected and how to connect one to the other and actually see this thread in between. And then it just evolved from there into, I wouldn't say what it is now, but what it's going to be.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, thank you.
And what differentiates you from the traditional healers that we know as Africans? Because I know a Sangoma.
Yes, I do get asked this question a lot. So I'm grateful that you have asked it. And my answer is going to be as follows. The quick fixes. I could be a very rich person right now if I chose to go against my ethics. You see, and this is a conversation that I have with other Sangomas out there on a daily basis, and I will encourage them to start doing things the right way or achieving a level of understanding that everyone can align to. You see, I get comments on TikTok, comments on my WhatsApp saying, can you help me with money? Can you get me a job? Can you find a husband for me? Can you find a wife for me? And if I'm feeling cheeky on the day, I'll say, I'm not a dating agency or I'm not a recruitment agency, because that power to find that desire must come from within. I can't give it to you. I can help you open the door. I can give you a key to unlock it, but it's got to come from within. I'm not going to give you a quick fix that's going to generate that for you. If that were the case, there would be no money problems in the world.
Yeah.
If that were the case, everyone would be gainfully employed if that's their desire. if it was as simple as burning some muti on the side of the road, everyone would be successful. Not necessarily in money, in health, in life, in love, in laughter. I don't work with quick fixes. I'm not going to take your money and promise you wealth. I mean, you're not going to win the lotto. I don't think anybody has in going to see a traditional sangoma. So there's a heck of a lot of propaganda, and they're doing well based on fear or based on a promise, an empty one at that. So with me, it's the truth.
To add on what you've just said, I have had my personal experience with a sangoma, or a traditional healer. That's what we call them. You go,
I like traditional healer better.
Yeah. You go there when... I'm getting emotional just thinking about what was happening in my life in that time.
You go there when you're stuck, when you're looking for answers.
Yes.
You go there when you are
when you're lost,
deeply in search of direction.
Yes.
And if I had one wish right now, if there was a leprechaun that could give me 3 wishes, I would wish that they would just tell the truth. And they would try and help you from within. Yeah. Instead of giving you the same old run-of-the-mill story about how you have a spiritual gift or how someone's blocking you or how there is someone who's making you stuck at work or whatever the case is. Be open, be truthful.
Yeah. I mean, my answer was my father, who passed away in 2014, was the one who was blocking my luck. So... Okay.
How do you ask him? How do you verify if that's true?
I can't.
Exactly.
And I have to take...
You have to take on their word. And that's the problem is if somebody had those powers, just say the detail instead of something roundabout. And that's what I get frustrated with is it's never pinpointed. In some healers you go to and you ask them about your previous life. You were never a street sweeper. You were always a powerful king, or you were a powerful shaman, or you were the heir to a throne. You were never something just mundane. Yeah. People go in search of hearing something powerful about them, about themselves. And they get it. And it's a dopamine rush. Yeah. Because the next few days they feel amazing. They feel like they can conquer the world. But nothing's changed.
Yeah. Because people are not wrong. I wouldn't say that I was wrong for going there.
No,
I
not
needed
at all.
hope. I needed answers at that time. I felt confused. I didn't know what was happening. My parents didn't have any solutions. I didn't have any solutions. So someone referred me to this person to say, hey, this person has helped me. Maybe they can help you. So you go there looking for an answer, a solution.
Correct.
And so... actually, the onus, we would say, is with them, to be honest. That's what you are saying right now.
And they do have the ability. There are things that people can see a future happening. And this is what, myself and a few people I know can do, is to predict a future that will unfold based on the current sequence of events as is. But as you leave this place, or wherever you are in life, if you turn left instead of right, if you go to Spa instead of Checkers, whatever it may be, you change the course of your trajectory, things change. Based on the sequence of events that is right here, right now, certain future predictions can be made. Yeah. But it's never going to give you the lotto numbers. What you read on the side of the traffic light pole can't happen. Ever. Yeah. And I will sit down with any Sangoma and say that to their face with greatest of pleasure. Cannot happen. Yeah. Well, the only thing that I can be guaranteed of is in that moment, you will give them money. Yeah. Lots of it. Because it's quite an expensive process. Indeed. You will give them lots of money in the hopes of achieving some kind of clarity. And the clarity you always receive is very vague. It is. Ugh. But then we take it and we run with it. We're in search of hope. Once we're in search of hope, we'll believe. Yeah. Yeah, so I think you have explained this next question, but I'm going to ask it again. Sure. So what is, because you refer to yourself as an elemental traditional healer. Can you explain what that is? Yeah, with pleasure. So elemental traditional healer is literally in the first word, elemental, being the elements, the 4 elements: earth, fire, wind, water. So working with air, working with fire, working with water, as you know, and learning how to use those elements to heal with, in terms of, even taking air as far as air coming out of your mouth, in terms of coaching, breathing, counseling, breath work, learning to listen, learning to appreciate, learning to sit still, finding the strength within, becoming grounded. There's the earth element, using earth to heal, using water to heal through an ice bath or through cleansing, whatever it may be. Everything we need is on this earth already.
I believe that.
Everything we need is on this earth. Healing through the earth being medicines that we can get from plants, crystals that we can dig out of the ground, using those elements to heal rather than going to buy a pill. This morning I could feel this oncoming of a headache, and I thought, should I take 2 Panados quick? And I thought, no, not today. I actually want to sit with this headache and see where it's coming from, why it's here, and find a way to actually navigate through it and see what the body wants versus let me pop 2 Panados real quick and make it go away. There's a reason it's there. I need to honor that.
Because the body is usually talking to us.
Correct. We must just listen.
It does take a lot of time, to now center yourself. Now I'm like, because I told my friend this morning that I don't have time to be centering myself in this moment. I just want to vent and get it over with and move on with the day.
Okay.
But while I was driving here, I had to do some breathing exercise because now I know I had to breathe and calm myself down and remind myself of the truth that I'm okay.
Yes.
I'm safe. And I can get through the day.
So what happened if you didn't do the breathwork exercises when you were coming through?
I would be a mess.
So is it safe to say that you made a choice to do breathing in the car?
Yeah.
Amazing what making the right choice or an aligned choice can do for our day. And we all have that choice. We can all choose.
Yeah.
Some just don't.
Yeah. Maybe it's because they don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, it's possible. Some people don't know they can choose.
Yeah.
Oh, I can choose to be happy?
And I think we have to get to this conversation of trauma because you specialize in helping people heal from trauma. And I think when you are in a trauma-induced state, there's no choices for you. There's just one direction, which is survival mode, and you don't have the ability to think of a different option in any situation. So leading to the question, what is trauma?
So people think the event that caused the trauma is the trauma. That was simply a traumatic experience. What comes after that is the actual trauma. And so when we can start to separate it, we can start to understand it.
Okay.
So let's do something light. If you have brothers or sisters, then you'll know this quite well. When you were walking out of the bathroom, out of the kitchen, and your brother or sister was standing behind the door and they jumped out at you and they gave you a fright. That's a traumatic experience. We laugh it off and ha ha ha, it's okay. But what actually happens is the moment we get that fright, we go into a state of freeze. And then we realize, it was just a joke. But my hands haven't unclenched yet. So I've taken that traumatic experience and I've brought it into my cells. I brought it into my being. And now my body's in a state of fight or flight. Until I physically release the trauma. And people say, well, how can you physically release the trauma? If it's in your cells, which it is, you can do a series of exercises, breathwork being one of them, and tremoring being another, where you actually physically shake it out. If you've ever seen 2 doggies fight, afterwards they both shake it off and then they lie next to each other having a nap. How did they let that go so quickly? We need to learn how to do it and learn to watch others and how they release it. Even doing an ice bath helps with releasing trauma. And this is where people will challenge it. When you get into the ice bath, if you have a look at various people, how they react to it, more than half will go into a state of shiver, where they will get into the bath and they will start to tremor, and they'll tremor from different parts of their body. That part of the body is where they're holding the trauma. They're not shivering because they are cold. They are releasing trauma. They're releasing trapped survival energy called trauma. They're releasing it out of their cells and into the water and out. The biggest thing we want someone to do, the best thing that we want them to do, is to actually shake, because they're literally getting rid of it.
So what happens if someone doesn't shake? Because I think for me, I was just stoic. So I tried an ice bath, guys, this past weekend with the gentleman here. And I don't know what I was expecting, but when I got there, I was just stoic.
So if I can speak into that. So that word stoic, or people arriving, they immediately visually go into a state of shock, because they go into a state of defense. They see the bath, they see the ice, and they start to breathe deep, and they start to panic. And the more we panic, and we actually arrive at a situation with a state of nerves, we create this layer. And we have to give ourselves permission from here first to allow this to feel, to be released. And depending on the type of trauma, depending on the severity of it, and depending on how long ago it was, it's not going to happen in 3 minutes. When we allow ourselves to say, I'm going to do this. When we allow ourselves, when we give ourselves permission, then it will happen.
I'm having a moment.
And I'm just sitting here with you, holding that space, my sister.
I'm having a moment as you're explaining it, that it's about giving yourself permission.
May I ask why you are having a moment?
Because I realized that I didn't give myself permission. For me, it's always been like, get it done. I never feel, and somehow I'm able to shut it off and just focus on getting the task or whatever that I need to get through. I need to get it done. So I never give myself any permission prior, maybe afterwards, but never before I actually do something. And that's hard to realize.
Yes.
And it's making me emotional.
When we, not even say when we give ourselves permission, when we consider giving ourselves permission, we start to go against the very foundation of our upbringing, of what we've been taught about being strong, about being tough, how not showing emotion or not showing your concerns or your fears, that is weakness. But to actually stand up one day and say, you know what, I actually have a voice inside, not the one you're hearing now, but that inner voice, the one that whispers to you, only you. When we start to listen to that one, everything changes. But the moment that happens, we start to go into a life of a bit more of solitude, because no one else can hear that voice. So automatically we're now put on this foot of, I'm different, and people see you as different. And that's okay, because we're not supposed to be the same. Remember, misery loves company.
Yeah.
You know, if you're cold and someone else is cold, well, guess what? Now you've got something to talk about. Instead of someone saying, you know what, I'm cold, and the other one says, why don't we go stand in the sun? How amazing would the world be then? And I know it's something small.
Yeah.
But it's possible.
Yeah. I'm gaining a lot from what you are saying right now, because for me, I'm that person who has struggled. When I enter a room, I automatically think that people don't like me. I feel inferior just by entering a room. And from that moment, everything that I'm going to receive from people is going to be giving me confirmation of what I'm already feeling, that I'm not accepted here, I don't belong here. And it's tough. I'm learning to heal from that, but it's a tough process because different circumstances or different environment, they bring up different emotions inside of me.
I want to challenge a few things you've said there, if that's okay.
I'm open.
Entering that room, you're not entering in your higher self. You're entering with decades and copious amounts of disbelief in who you are and what you're capable of. Automatically, you're on the defense.
Yeah.
So that someone comes to you and says something silly like, oh, what are you wearing? Or, where'd you get that dress? Maybe it's envy. They want the dress. Maybe they want to go buy the dress. Maybe they think you don't look nice in the dress. Maybe you look amazing in the dress. You're interpreting it.
Yeah.
You're inferring it automatically. So what you're thinking, what they're saying are not connecting. When we can remove assumption from our daily life, instead of assuming, let me rather ask. Let me rather ask. I don't want to assume anything. When we take assumption away, gone. Now we have to ask, or we know already. But if we know something and the other person does not, we have to ask, do you understand? We cannot assume that they understand.
Yeah.
That's where the challenge comes in, is that, am I speaking from ego? Am I speaking from control? Am I speaking from fear? Am I speaking from doubt? Am I living from one of those as well? That's where we have to take a step back and say, let's not assume anything. Ask questions rather.
Yeah, I received that. I received that. I need to go back to an example that you made.
Of course.
You spoke about, let's say I'm coming out of a shower. You were explaining the traumatic experience. And you said you're coming out of a shower and your brother scares you and your body goes into a state of shock. And then you realize, oh, this is just my brother, and you laugh it off. So I want to go back to that point.
Okay.
So by us laughing it off, we are not actually releasing the trauma.
In a way you are, because any kind of expelling that you do, laughing, crying, even projectile vomiting, is a way to release trauma. Anything that makes something leave your system. So the laugh off is still there. Now, this is the part where people get stuck. Let's take it a little bit more serious than the getting the fright when coming out the bathroom. Let's talk about a smash and grab. For example, you're sitting at the robot and the next thing your window gets broken, they've taken the cell phone or whatever it is. That's a traumatic experience.
Yes.
Now you have choice. There's nothing wrong in feeling. There's nothing wrong with going through that experience mentally, remembering what happened. But now you have to start to catch yourself. And this is where we sit with trauma in terms of how to help someone deal with trauma. And simple questions like, am I telling the story too much? Am I reliving it too much? Am I dreaming about it? Have I started to bore people with my story? And then that's when you catch people and say, you are dealing with trauma. So now we start to introduce other methodologies in terms of how to deal with it. Because remember, you cannot take it away. The brain cannot subtract. Mathematically, we can. 4 minus 2 and so on. But we cannot subtract an experience. It's always going to be there. But what we need to introduce is a healthier way to look at it, a healthier way to understand it, and a healthier way to live with that experience. So we remove the constantly talking about it. That's why talk therapy has its place. But if you're sitting on my couch and you're telling me the same story and over and over and over again, I am the worst therapist there is. Because all that's happening is, the moment we use our words, the body doesn't know, the brain doesn't know. We're reliving it all the time. And the reason why we try and tell our stories, we haven't processed it. We haven't processed the why and the where do I go now. We're stuck in that moment, in that time. And it happens to a lot of people. There's nothing to be ashamed of, nothing to fear. It happens to everyone. Where they haven't given themselves permission to jump out of that state. Yeah. And that's where what we bring in a pattern disrupt into their life, like an ice bath or breath work or something different, anything. Choose differently, aligned, but differently. I'm not talking about going to find other ways to cope. I'm talking about finding a healthy, more aligned, a higher power way of existing. And when I say higher power, I'm referring to bring in God, bring in spirituality, bring in whatever it is you need to find source, to come back to who you are inside.
And what you said now about dreams also being a sign or a symptom, something that we can look into to say, am I going through, do I have traumatic experience in my life or not? For me, it's really clicked because I live in a community where people will phone you and tell you, oh, I dreamt about you. And it's never anything positive, trust me. You are dying, or someone is sick, or someone is going to die, or it's like I've gotten to a point where I'm like, I don't want to hear it because I feel like it's their own traumatic experiences showing up. And we have been taught to articulate dreams as us seeing the future. You know, and so I think we need to let's go deeper into that.
Happy to. Happy to.
But it's really frustrating for me. It's really frustrating.
If I have a dream about something happening to anyone, I never pick up that phone. I don't have the right to do that. I don't have the spiritual right to do that.
Ooh. Whoa. That's power right there.
And it is the thing that frustrates me the most. And somebody coming up to you in a shopping center or this is happening or this is happening. You have no right to say that.
Yeah.
No one's asked you to. So ego has come into it. I want to tell you this because I want you to know how powerful I am. It actually has nothing to do with you. I want you to revere me now.
Whoa.
Unless someone has asked you, back to the question, or unless someone is paying you, you have no right to tell them anything. You are impacting the narrative of their reality. You are impacting the narrative of their construct of their reality. You have no right.
So there's also a possibility that your dreams are portraying your own traumatic experience, that it has nothing to do with me.
We project onto others what is inside of us.
So even if you see me dying in your dream.
But remember, death in a dream is not death.
Yeah.
Death is the end of a cycle, whatever that is. Birth is not the birth of a baby. Birth is the beginning of a cycle. So someone seeing something in a dream does not mean on paper what it is.
Yeah. It
requires interpretation. And interpretation is merely an opinion. Nothing more. Yeah. My opinion, your opinion, anyone else's opinion. Because we don't know.
Yeah.
We have ideas, we think, but we don't actually know.
True. And they don't have the spiritual power. I'm using that one.
They don't have the spiritual right to do that.
Yeah, the spiritual right to explain their dreams or whatever. If I didn't ask, don't give it to me.
Yep.
You sit with your dream.
Yes, it's your thing.
Yeah, sit with it. Even if I'm dying or whatever, you sit with it. I don't need it. You don't have the spiritual right to come to me. Oh, that relieves a lot of tension and burden, and hopefully it will help someone. Maybe you're one of those, you've just received the message. Maybe someone phoned you today to tell you, hey, I dreamt about you and you were being hit by a truck. It's never anything positive.
No, of course not.
It's never anything positive. They never say, I saw you successful.
Yes.
I saw you are such a good parent. You are such an amazing mom. Never.
No, it's always negative. I had a dream that you won the lotto, but you and I bought the ticket together.
I'm loving this conversation. Guys, I am learning a lot, and I hope you are as well. So why should people prioritize healing? Why should they prioritize healing from their traumatic experiences?
So you can have 100 problems, 100 problems in your daily life. Until you have a health problem, then you'll have one. It's that simple. If you do not prioritize healing your health, mindfulness, heartfulness, toxic layers of trauma are going to build up. Layers of toxicity, anger, resentment, will build up. We'll start to operate from the lower chakras, where it's just anger and grief and sadness and apathy, guilt, shame.
Let's explain the chakras.
Okay.
Yeah. Please go there.
Do we have another 2 hours?
It's just a quick explanation.
So when we operate from the lower chakras, and I'm talking about the root, the sacral, the root being the lowest one, sacral slightly higher, just below the belly button, right up into the crown, top of the head, third eye, throat, heart, solar plexus. When we operate from the lower 2, that's where your lust, your greed, your desire comes from. Higher chakras is your more enlightened state, your conscious state, your states of spirituality, ascension. If everyone was operating from that, there would be no need to control, there would be no fear, there would be no anger, there would be no desire, because you would have this aligned version of life, this aligned version of being. You wouldn't need to do the cheeky things, the naughty things. When we operate from those chakras, that's where your questionable movements come from. If you know something is wrong, you know it's coming from there. If you think, well, sure, should I entertain this? If you're already asking that, you know it's wrong.
Yeah.
You haven't achieved a level of understanding where enlightenment is the way, where peace is the way, love, compassion, kindness, heart, and higher.
We need these explanations.
That's a whole other podcast.
Yeah, we have to do it because people need to understand these things. I'm one of those people who used to run away from terms like chakras, and you see a picture, there's one big eye, and you're like, that's the devil. Oh no.
But why would anyone say that? Because that's what's been taught. And it's been taught due to fear. Yeah. If I don't understand something, I will fear it until such time that I can label it, I can understand it, I can separate myself from it. Yeah. But until all of that happens, there is fear.
Yeah.
And I will use that to create war between me and whatever that is.
Yes. Yes. And hearing you explain it right now, that it sounds, it's a normal human behavior. Love, compassion, those are things that come from within us.
Correct.
But it's not easy for us to access those parts of who we are.
Well, you see, they're not defined by a value.
Yeah.
And that's the challenge. If you are successful, you can define it by a house or a car. Or are you better than somebody else on social media? What's your salary? They have measurables. If you say to someone, I love you, how? How do you prove it?
Yeah.
It's a feeling inside of me. How I love somebody, how I love my puppies or my kid is all different. But so there's no definitive measure.
It's still so hard because for someone like me, I prove my love. I want to prove it.
Why? Because
that's how I've just known it to be. And I want you to prove your love to me.
Why? Why do you need the proof? The only time somebody needs proof is if there is no validation.
Yeah. I didn't want to say it, but thank you for saying it.
If I need to prove it to you, it means you want me to validate it, which means what I'm doing is not enough.
So it's no longer a you issue, it's a me thing.
The 4-year-olds, the 3-year-olds on the playground had it right. And I keep going back to it. You ever remember this? I'm rubber and you're glue. Whatever you say bounces off me and sticks to you. I go back to that a lot because they had it, there is a brain that is forming that is unvarnished, pure. And they came up with that phrase. It's not a me thing, it's a you thing.
Yeah.
How I interact with you, how I treat you, how I make you feel, that should be enough. This word prove, don't want it.
It should be enough.
Because if you bring in the word prove into something, it means there is doubt.
Yeah. And that's how most of us enter even marriages. I want you to prove to me why I'm worthy.
But that's fear of hurt, or fear of being hurt. So you're already looking for an escape plan because there's something that's not sitting right. And that's not generally in the union, It's in self.
And the good news is that people can heal from
Always.
all of this.
Always.
Oh my God.
If they allow, if they are willing.
So where would you recommend people to start?
Wonderful question. The answer is going to lie within, and it's going to sound very cliche, and that's why I hesitated to say it. But it has to start with that choice that we spoke about, the choice to change the narrative of the day. So as to simply say, I now choose something different. And the choices can come down to modalities, it can come down to spirituality, it can come down to religion. It doesn't matter as long as there is a choice. I choose something different. For in this time, in this now, I choose something different for me and for the ones around me. And the reason why I say I'm not choosing for them, I'm choosing to be different. I'm choosing to be better. I'm choosing to be a higher version of myself so that I can impart this feeling, not force, not make them, but so other people can experience what I'm going through. So the choice is always going to start with you choosing to do something different. And that's where we bring in a pattern disrupt. And that's where we bring in something that takes them out of the routine. You know, we used to make a comment, my mother-in-law does it, where she spoke about life 20 years ago, 30 years ago. And I would ask her, what does that mean? And she said, well, on a Friday afternoon, they would go to the butcher and they would go to the post office and they would go to the grocery store, once they all got their paycheck on a Friday, and that's what they would do. And that was the routine that all the sisters would do it. And I would, in my mind, I'm thinking, everything's changed now. So somebody had to choose differently. No, it's a monotonous, mundane routine. Choose differently. Choose to do it on a Saturday. Choose to do it on a Sunday. Start with making a small choice. Nothing overwhelming.
Yeah.
Because the moment something's overwhelming, and people will say, I'm gonna go to gym tomorrow.
Yeah.
Today's Sunday. Tomorrow, Monday, I'm
on
going
Monday.
to gym.
On Monday.
Yeah.
We always start on a Monday.
Yeah. I'm gonna quit smoking. I'm gonna go to the gym, and I'm gonna eat right. 11 o'clock Monday morning. KFC. Because you took on too much.
Yeah.
You set yourself up for failure.
So let's give people an example. Let's say someone is really tired of their addictive behaviors. Let's say they are addicted to alcohol and they want to do something about it. Where should they start?
Start with that first drink. Pour the drink. Put it in front of you. Here it is.
Yeah.
Bring it up.
Yeah.
Why do I want this?
That's exactly what I did.
Be honest with yourself. Why do I want this drink?
Yeah.
See what happens.
That is exactly what I did.
How did it go?
I used to drink a couple of years ago. I stopped. And I remember sitting in my house. Remember, we spoke about my marriage. It was a very hard marriage. So I came in the house very sad, very lonely. And I sat, I took out my drink, I poured it in a glass. I love fancy glasses. It was a champagne glass.
Of course.
So,
in a diva, hello.
Yes. So I was sitting there watching TV and there's my glass of bubbling in front of me. And then as I went to pick it up, there was a question inside of me. Why do you need to drink this right now? Why do you feel like you need it? And I had to...
Did you get the answer?
Yeah. Because I'm lonely, because I'm sad, because I'm overwhelmed by my current living situation. I didn't drink it though.
Numbing is the biggest reason why people drink. They want to numb. They're numbing something. Why would you be taking this toxin into your body?
Yeah. Okay, we need another episode. You have to make yourself available.
Yes,
because
ma'am.
We are not going to finish today. So where can people access you? I know you're available on Instagram.
Yes, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Healing with Ahanu. It's the best way to get hold of me. Otherwise, WhatsApp.
Are you also available for consultations?
Yes. My consultations are different to other consultations.
Okay.
But yes, I do one-on-one. I do one-on-one sessions. Yes.
Okay. I guess you explain that when they reach out.
I do.
Okay. Any final thoughts that you would like to share?
There is one. I was driving here and I was thinking about if this question came up, what would I say? And the simplest one is to be kind to each other. Remember this, that you never know what somebody else is going through. So don't assume.
Yeah.
And you don't need context to be a good person.
Ooh. Oh.
Boom.
Okay. That's a big one. You don't need context to be a good person.
Yes.
So it means I can just be a good person without knowing. I think that's exactly what you did to me. You didn't need my story. You didn't need me to explain.
No. I can choose what type of person I want to be. I choose to be a good person. And it applies to everyone.
Yeah. And thank you for that.
Of course.
It blew my mind. I've never been in such a space with someone who just chooses to be good,
If you're coming from here, heart center, aligned, if everything passes through here, nothing but love, kindness, compassion, understanding can happen.
Wonderful conversation.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Of course,
for being
my pleasure.
Open.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your goodness. Like, you are truly good. You are. I've seen it. You showed it to me. And there was no reason, there was no explanation, there was no context.
No context.
You just showed up as good. So I'm grateful for that.
I appreciate those words. Thank you.
So thank you guys for tuning in. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And pour your comments. If you need another episode, if you need us to organize a live so that you can ask your questions, feel free to do so. I have questions of my own. Definitely going to be keeping Mr. Ahanu in my speed dial. So he's available for consultations. Remember to love yourself because God loves you anyway.